One thing I always see players getting wrong in Apex Legends is how to properly use doors to maximum advantage. As it turns out, the simple act of opening and closing a door is a lot more complicated and thought-provoking of a metagame than it seems to be on the surface. Let's look at doors, how best to use them, and how to be as effective as possible with them. Can't believe I'm actually saying this. The first thing you should know about doors is that you can only push them open. You cannot pull open a door. You can pull it shut because space magic, but you cannot pull one open. Your guess is as good as mine here, but that's just how it works. If there's an object in the path of a door being pushed open, like a death box or a caustic trap, it'll stop the door dead in its tracks. What a lot of people don't seem to realize, though, is that players themselves can also body block doors, whether they are standing or down but not out and bleeding out. Either way, body blocking doors is a thing. For example, let's say that you're losing a fight and you're able to run and duck inside of a building. Instead of shutting the door and hiding in a corner, you can do something better. In a lot of cases, a more correct play would be that you shut the door behind you, then stand against it as if you were trying to barricade a door shut in real life. While you're standing there, you'll find that the person chasing you cannot get in immediately. If they try to open the door, it simply gets jammed on your body and they can't do anything about it. They have to circumvent the door. These few extra seconds that you buy yourself will oftentimes be enough for you to heal or for your teammates to rotate to you and save the day. Against especially aware targets who start beating that door down immediately, it'll give you enough time to at least reload your gun, preferably an EVA or a Peacekeeper or something, so you can at least challenge that person and give them a big burst of damage for chasing you in that way, but that happens less often than you might actually think. This door blocking strategy is of course not foolproof. If somebody does this to you, it's very well within your power to counterplay it and defeat it. First, always remember that you can melee doors and you can kick them down with that melee. If you melee a door and an enemy is blocking it, you'll damage the door itself. Now, small asterisk, you're always going to put the door into the quote-unquote damaged state when you melee it, but if no one's there, it just opens and you don't really care. You're through, you're fine. But if someone's standing there, you'll notice that the door's glass gets cracked, the door frame itself becomes bent, and you're going to need a second melee to actually break that door, to straight up just destroy it, and then you can move through that space. Just be careful, since the door kicking animation has a long recovery period, so you can't exactly just instantly run through that door and start shooting immediately. You gotta wait for your foot to drop back to the ground, gotta wait for your legend to draw their gun back up and get that ready, and then you can safely, well, quote-unquote safely, push in and start fighting. If you go too soon, you're just gonna get lit up and die. This situation is tricky though, because the door being shattered does not stun or damage the defending player whatsoever. They can very easily see you winding up for that second door kick and pop you with a point-blank shotgun the instant that door breaks. Door kicking is a very quote-unquote on-rails animation. Maybe you might be familiar with the term sync animation. It's something along those lines. And it's going to leave you as an attacker incredibly vulnerable. Alternatively, instead of kicking a barricaded door, you can grenade the door. Both arc stars and frag grenades will blow doors up completely, which can make a much safer and quieter approach than going up to it and meleeing it twice. I once got a pretty great clip where I stuck a door with an arc star and timed the throw of a second arc star so it would pass through the opening the instant the door was opened up. The players inside had no time to react to that arc star that was next to them. They would have had to proactively decide to run away as soon as they heard the first arc star hit the door if they wanted to escape in time. Use strategies like this to punish enemies that you think are getting a little bit too cozy with their doors and their corners. As a third method, some high damage weapons are actually able to open up doors if you shoot the handles. The longbow DMR, wingman, and Kraber all fit in this category. There may be other weapons that can do this too, so if you know of any, please leave them in the comment section down below. While this won't do anything if an enemy is actively blocking a door, it can be very useful when you know an enemy is hiding inside of a building. It might just open up some free kills you otherwise wouldn't get. Switching gears a little bit, sometimes you don't want to destroy a door. Sometimes you want the door to be your friend. It's important to note that you can actually climb on top of doors themselves and use them as a boost to reach otherwise unreachable locations. You're basically making a little ladder out of them. For example, let's take the doors on top of the big roofs on Repulsor. If you enter the room on the top, then turn around, push the doors shut, and then push them open towards the outside, you've just created a little ladder for yourself. Jump and mantle on top of the door, then you can clamber up the wall to get to the extra high roof above. There's a lot of places in the game where this works, so experiment for yourself to find some advantageous spots. This also works for the very big and heavy doors you're going to find surrounding Market, surrounding Repulsor, and surrounding Artillery. There may be other places that I'm forgetting, but those 3 places have those big, huge, heavy, loud red doors. In the closed state, those are all very useful for climbing on top of, to use as a ladder to get on top of the roofs that they are next to, so use that to your advantage as well. If you want to get really cute with this ladder tech, what you can do for the smaller doors is as soon as you jump off of that door and start climbing the wall, you can look down and press your use button to shut the door behind you. So now it's that much harder for anyone to chase you up that roof, and you give yourself just that little bit more breathing room. Finally, consider using doors as a see-through shield. Look through the glass, pre-aim at a target, open it just long enough to shoot them, then immediately close the door right back up. With practice, you can make it incredibly difficult for people to engage you at all. And you can even start playing games against aware targets by juking the door opening, getting your opponent to waste shots on that door, then you open up for real and light them up immediately after. While I've never once encountered a player that was aware enough in general to ever do this to me or think about this on like a high enough level to even play this minigame, it is one that certainly exists regardless, and it will be a consideration once people continue getting better and better at the game and they start playing these games more actively. Anyways, everyone, that'll just about do it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you've learned something new. If nothing else, I hope the ideas here have inspired you to take your Apex game to the next level. If you really like what you saw today, you know the drill. Get subscribed, join the discussion and come game with us over on Discord, or come say hello during the Twitch stream. Patreon and Twitter are also available if those are preferred routes for you as well. I am personally very active on Twitter. I hope to see you all again very soon. Take care.